Mogli.
Vivify Studio Stories.
Mogli is a story about the struggle of a 5-year-old monkey who decides to escape human captivity and live in wild. Mogli lives with his master in a small town of Mirpur. Every day, both of them wake up early in the morning and go to work. On reaching the city, Ashgar would shout, "Baka Jamora Kartab Dekau," and Mogli would start performing. Jumping high and low, wiggling his tail, dancing to the beat of the drums. People on hearing the beats would gather around Mogli and Ashgar. The cheering and the hooting of the spectators would get louder and louder with Mowgli's stunts. Coins and confetti would come pouring down upon Mogli and Ashgar. Mowgli on his hind feet would collect all the coins off the floor and would wave at the spectators in a gesture of appreciation. At sunset, Ashgar would carefully count his earnings, cage Mogli and recede back home. Back at village, Mowgli would practice stunts for the next day and dozed off to sleep. Every day, Ashgar and Mowgli followed the same schedule. Woke up early in the morning, got ready, went to the village and performed. Came back home and prepared for the next day. This continued for many days. But, as time passed, Mowgli started feeling agitated by everyday stunts. He started hating his life as an entertainer. Every day, Mowgli performed the same old stunts. Spectators would gather around, hoot, cheered, clapped and left. Leaving, Mowgli and Ashgar collecting coins of the floor. Mowgli gradually was losing his patience with his everyday performance. He wanted to be careless and free, run through the jungle and swing from one tree to another, like most of his fellow monkeys did. But, always under human care, Mowgli did not know what life was outside the cage and wild. Lately, he started having urges of exploring world outside. He started believing that this entertainment life was not meant for him. He just wanted to be free for some reason. The other day, Mowgli got ready for his usual performance. In the middle of his performance, Mowgli snipped the rope forcefully. With sudden jerk, Mowgli was able to free himself from Ashgar clenches. Mowgli started moving hastily. He jumped up and down in the street. He could hear shouts of Ashgar fading out. He kept on running at a very fast pace, until he reached a very dense forest. This was his first time that he was all alone in the wild. The earth beneath his feet was damp and cold. The jungle was dark and isolated. For some reason Mowgli felt cold and weak. Without Ashgar he felt insecure and scared. It was past dawn, and Mowgli's stomach was rambling. It had been a hectic day and all the running made Mowgli hungry. His hind legs felt heavy as he tried to move. Suddenly, he gazed up and found a bunch of ripped bananas, hanging low from a tree. Mowgli jumped trying to reach out for bananas, but the bananas were a little too high for him. He tried climbing up the tree, but being in human captivity for so long, Mowgli had difficulties climbing up the tree. He slipped and slipped again. With a lot of effort, Mowgli was able to reach out for the bunch. Mowgli clung to the lowest branch of the tree, while devouring the whole bunch. As time passed, it was getting darker and darker. The light from the fireflies illuminated the ground beneath Mowgli. Mowgli felt sleepy and at the same time scared, as it was his first day out in the wild alone. The hooting and chirping of the wild animals fastened Mowgli's heartbeat. It was cold and dark in the jungle. Mowgli shivered, his eyelids were getting heavy, and within an hour or so, he dozed off to sleep. The next day, when Mowgli woke up, he felt hungry again. He went searching for food. While swinging from one tree to another, Mowgli came across a huge nest, which had a lot of eggs. Mowgli stole the biggest egg in the nest. On his way back, Mowgli met a huge snake, coiled up under a tree. "Where you heading?" the snake hissed. "Oh my, that is a huge egg," the snake exclaimed with his mouth watering. Weak Mowgli shrieked, "Stay away. That's my food." The snake hastily uncoiled himself, slithered and coiled himself around Mowgli. Mowgli clenched the egg tightly, but he could feel the grip of the snake getting tighter and tighter around Mowgli's lanky body. Mowgli felt suffocated, his face was turning pale. Mowgli could feel his ribs closing in. His grip on the egg was getting loose. All of a sudden Mowgli heard a shrilling shriek. "Who stole my egg?" On hearing this, the snake uncoiled himself and quickly slithered into the dense and dark woods, leaving Mowgli unguarded and undefended. The shrieking voice grew louder and louder. "Who stole my egg?" the voice shouted, and all of a sudden a huge brown owl appeared. Mowgli, struggling to grasp his breath and scampering for survival, encountered a huge owl that was hovering right over Mowgli. "You stole my egg," shrieked the big furry owl. "You wait and watch what I do to you." With that said, the owl started scratching Mowgli brutally. The owl grabbed the egg and fluttered away, leaving Mowgli unconscious and bleeding on the forest floor. Mowgli, Mowgli, Mowgli. Unconscious Mowgli heard some distant shouts and footsteps stomping towards him. Mowgli opened his heavy eyelids, and through his blurry vision Mowgli could figure out Ashgar standing over him. Mowgli was delighted to see Ashgar. Ashgar was upset and dazed to see Mowgli in such condition. He gently caressed Mowgli and cupped him in his arms and carried him away to the city. Hey there, beautiful bookworms, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Your liking helps this channel a lot. Have great good night sleep.